We continue to talk about a move by North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson that Will just talked about to sue the Education Department over federal funding cuts. Jackson says the Trump administration pulled almost $170 million in funding hours before that money was set to be issued. He's calling that move unconstitutional. The department is freezing $7 billion in education funding across the country. More than 20 other states are a part of this lawsuit. It comes as the Supreme Court is allowing the Trump administration to move ahead with plans to gut the Education Department.
Joining us this morning to break this major lawsuit down a little more, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. We knew at some point we would be revisiting this, as we probably will continue to. All right, so this comes yesterday from the Supreme Court. A few weeks, a month before most public schools get back in session in North Carolina and other states as well, not just ours. Can there be an emergency order to stop or to release some of the funds? I mean, the timing of this, whether you agree or not, definitely puts the public education and families and teachers in an unusual bind.
You rolled it out the best way that I would have said the same thing. I mean, some schools are going back in 3 weeks. Alabama, one of them. They'll be back to school before this is probably resolved. These 24 attorney generals in the states, mostly Democratic leaning, have brought these complaints because you're talking about real money that is going to affect real people. $6 billion, that's nothing to laugh at. Here in North Carolina, what, $165 million? That's 1,000 plus positions. Let's let that sink in for a minute. 1,000 teachers that taught last year, as Mo Green talked about, they're not going to be there this year if they don't have that funding. Kids that were in classrooms that were getting access to necessary educational opportunities, they're not going to get those opportunities right now. So yeah, while these are dollars on the screen, while you're moving them on some Excel sheet to try to create some type of balance to fulfill some campaign promise, this is going to be problematic. And so how do we get to some type of resolution? Emergency type of resolution is one process. An extraordinary relief, I've said that before a number of times, by seeking an injunction. And so that's what this lawsuit is doing. I mean, but how do we get to that end? I don't know, and it doesn't look good for the folks that are filing these claims because the path, specifically in North Carolina, is not clean. You go to U.S. District Court in North Carolina, I think they'll get an injunction. I think there's irreparable harm. You can't put money at a kid and say, hey, you didn't have a teacher last year. Money can't fix that. So that's irreparable harm. That's pretty straightforward. I think the other standards for injunction would be there. But when it gets to the Court of Appeals, specifically in our district, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals historically has been known as the most conservative Court of Appeals in the country. Joe Biden appointed 3 folks to that circuit, but it's still extremely right-leaning. Because of that, I think the Court of Appeals, depending on the panel, rules against the 24 attorney generals. And then what do we have here? It goes to the Supreme Court, where we've seen over the most recent days, by 6-3 decisions, back to back to back, they've allowed this Trump administration to basically gut the Department of Education in staff and now in funding.
Well, so is there any quick way to get this resolution? What does the timeline look like here? Because as Jason said, we have school starting in a couple weeks.
I mean, I think there will be a quick hearing. I mean, this right here, you filed a complaint for an injunction. The court has an obligation to hear your matter on the merits instantly. Asking for the injunction, they go through the 4 factors: likelihood of success on the merits, irreparable harm, the balancing of the interest in the public policy. I mean, you could say, Jason, you said it doesn't matter, how you feel about what side of the aisle. Everyone, I would assume, wants to ensure that kids have education and have access to it. That's not the issue. The issue is who wants to pay for it. And then the underlying argument with Jeff Jackson and the other attorney generals have said is, well, Congress has already appropriated this. You don't have the ability constitutionally to take funds that have been appropriated through Congress to us as the states. And so there seems to be a problem of recognizing what the 3 branches of government do. And because Congress is supposed to be the keeper of the purse, the creator of the rules, and they are the ones that implement these rules, and the executive is the enforcer of the rules, it seems like Congress has diminished their abilities in most recent support of the president's actions, and the court is enforcing that. And so while we have 3 co-equal branches, it's shrinking. And in that shrinking process, these states are attempting to fight back. And so we're going to have, as I've said the last couple of times, we're at that fork in the road decision for the court to actually say, yes, we do have equal branches of government.
Khalif, we're almost out of time, and I'm not trying to belittle this at all, but if these, especially rural school districts or districts that struggle getting funding, if this spigot is going to be turned off, do they have to turn to internal fundraisers? Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think grassroots level. What do you do to raise funds for K through 12 readiness programs or any of these things?
I think we're going to see the impact of this extremely quickly, and they're seeing it in the hospital situation with the cuts that were with the big, beautiful bill. What happened? Rural hospitals are saying we're going to be closed in the next couple years. So then you saw Republicans come back out and say, I stand for rural hospitals. I don't want them to close. Well, if you read the bill, you'd recognize that the funding for the majority of these areas are going to be cut. The exact same thing with here. If you hold these fundings, it'll affect Charlotte. It will affect Wake. But it's really going to affect these folks in the middle of our state that are already lacking funding because you have a low number of students. So if the funds are allocated based on the students, but you still have those types of needs, it's going to hurt you more than it hurts somewhere like a Mecklenburg County. So those folks, and ironically, these are the same people, I would say statistically, if you look at the map, that have supported the Trump administration and Republican candidates in the past. So it's extremely harmful to see that when you went out and voted for folks and you're saying, look, I'm expecting that you bring home these things for me, and it's not happening. It's probably disheartening, if anything.
Yeah. All right. So new lawsuit there that we'll keep an eye on. As always, Kali, thank you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.